Have you ever felt like your life is being guided by something deeper than your thoughts? Like no matter how hard you try to choose your path, you keep being pulled back toward the same patterns, the same struggles, the same kind of love, the same kind of pain? You plan one future, but your soul insists on another. You chase a dream that looks perfect on paper, yet your heart remains silent. And then, out of nowhere, you meet a situation, a person, or a calling that feels so inevitable, so true, it shakes you to your core. Now imagine this. You never chose your destiny. Your destiny chose you. And the force behind it isn't luck, karma, or random chance. It's your archetype, the ancient, eternal blueprint hidden in your unconscious, silently shaping every major turn of your life. Carl Jung didn't believe we invent ourselves from scratch. He believed we uncover who we were always meant to become. And that process begins the moment you stop fighting your inner pattern and start listening to it. So I ask you now, what if your repeated failures, your strange obsessions, your inexplicable fears aren't mistakes, but messages? Messages from the archetype that lives within you. The one that's been waiting for you to finally say, "Yes, this is me." You were never meant to figure it all out. Since childhood, you've been told, you can be anything you want. Pick a career. Choose a partner. Design your life like a product. But here's a truth no one tells you. You cannot become who you are not. Jung discovered that beneath our personal memories lies a deeper layer, the collective unconscious, filled not with your experiences, but with humanity's. And inside it live the archetypes, universal patterns like the hero, the sage, the lover, the outcast, the healer, the rebel. They are not roles you play. They are forces that play through you. And the moment you resist your dominant archetype, your true inner structure, you create inner war. You become the healer who becomes a lawyer to please your parents, the artist who works in finance and calls creativity a hobby, the truth seeker who stays in a lie to keep the peace. But your archetype doesn't vanish. It waits. It whispers through dreams. It erupts in crisis. It haunts you through the lives of others who dare to live it. Carl Jung warned, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And this is your fate right now. You keep trying to choose your destiny, while ignoring the one already written in your soul. Your archetype is not a label, it's a compass. Let's be clear, your archetype isn't a personality quiz result. It's not, "You're a type 8," or "You're a Scorpio." It's the core mythic identity that gives your life meaning. Some are born with the orphan, haunted by injustice, driven to belong, yet destined to find strength in solitude. Others carry the warrior, not for violence, but for truth, clarity, and the courage to protect what matters. Some hold the magician, drawn to transformation mystery, the hidden laws of reality. And some are marked by the Shadow King, called not to rule others, but to master their own inner chaos. You don't pick this. It picks you. And the proof? Look at what drains you versus what energizes you, even when it makes no logical sense. The corporate executive who feels dead inside, but lights up when mentoring a troubled teen. That's the mentor archetype knocking. The quiet librarian who dreams of burning down corrupt systems? That's the revolutionary waking up. The people pleaser who suddenly walks away from a perfect relationship with no explanation? That's the sovereign finally claiming their throne. Jung said individuation, the journey to wholeness, begins when you stop imitating others and start living your own inner law. And that law is written in the language of your archetype. But here's the hard truth. Society doesn't reward authenticity. It rewards conformity. So your archetype is often labeled too intense, too weird, too much. You're told to tone it down, to fit in, to be realistic, and every time you do, you betray your destiny. The crisis that reveals your true shape. Most people don't discover their archetype in calm. They discover it in collapse. A breakup that shatters your identity. A job loss that feels like the end of the world. A breakdown that leaves you numb for months. But Jung saw these not as failures, but as initiations. The psyche's way of saying, the life you've been living isn't yours. It's borrowed. Now return to your true form. This is why spiritual awakenings often feel like destruction. Because they are. They destroy the false self so the archetype can emerge. Think of the phoenix. It doesn't choose to burn. It must burn because fire is its nature. Your archetype works the same way. It doesn't ask permission. It demands surrender. And those who resist, they live half-lives, successful on the outside, hollow within, forever chasing validation, never finding peace. But those who say, yes, they stop trying to control their path and start flowing with it, not because they're passive, but because they've aligned with a force deeper than willpower, a force that knows exactly where they need to go, even if it leads through darkness. You don't find your archetype, it finds you. You won't discover your archetype by taking a test. You'll discover it through recognition. That moment when you read a myth, watch a film, or meet someone, and your whole body says, that's me. Not literally, but essentially. Maybe it's Frodo carrying the ring. Maybe it's Medea walking away from everything. Maybe it's Prometheus stealing fire for humanity. These aren't just stories. They're mirrors. Jung called this archetypal identification. And it's the first real sign you're nearing your destiny. But beware. Your archetype doesn't always appear as light. Often, it arrives as shadow, through addiction, obsession, rage, or self-sabotage. The unlived lover becomes a serial heartbreaker. The suppressed creator turns destructive. The denied warrior becomes passive-aggressive or violent. This is why Jung insisted. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your destiny isn't about becoming perfect. It's about integrating your archetype, light and shadow, so it can serve life, not destroy it. The world needs your archetype, not your performance. Here's what no one tells you. The world doesn't need more successful people. It needs more authentic ones. People who stop pretending to be someone they're not. People who dare to embody their archetype fully, even if it meant losing friends, jobs, or approval. Because when you live your archetype, you don't just heal yourself. You heal the collective. Every time a wounded healer shares their story, they give others permission to stop hiding. Every time a truth teller speaks up, they crack open the illusion of silence. Every time a rebel refuses to comply, they remind us that freedom is possible. This is the hidden purpose of individuation. To become so deeply yourself that you become a channel for universal truth. But this requires sacrifice. You will be misunderstood, called dramatic, selfish, or too intense. People will try to pull you back into their version of who you should be. And in those moments, remember this. Your archetype chose you for a reason. Not to suffer, but to serve through your authenticity. How to begin living your archetype without losing your mind. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow or moving to a monastery. It's about micro-surrenders. Start by asking, what recurring theme shows up in my life, no matter where I go? What kind of pain keeps returning? What story do I keep telling myself about who I am? Then look deeper. Beneath the surface, what archetype is trying to speak? Next, stop fighting it. If you're the outcast, stop trying to be the life of the party. If you're the seer, stop pretending small talk is enough. If you're the guardian, stop apologizing for setting boundaries. And finally, Create space for it. Journal. Dream. Walk in nature. Let your unconscious speak. Because your archetype doesn't live in your to-do list. It lives in your silence. The loneliness of the archetypal path. Yes, you will feel alone. Because few people understand a soul in transformation. They'll say, "Why can't you just be happy? Why are you making everything so complicated?" But Jung knew this loneliness is sacred. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And that journey cannot be crowdsourced. You must walk it alone. Not because you're broken, but because your archetype is unique. No one else has your exact constellation of light and shadow. No one else is meant to live your myth. So let them misunderstand you. Let them call you strange. Because one day, someone will see you and whisper, "You gave me permission to be myself." And that will be worth every moment of solitude. Your destiny was never about choice. It was about courage. You don't choose your archetype, but you do choose whether to live it. And that choice, that single act of courage, changes everything. Because when you stop running from your pattern, you stop creating chaos. When you stop denying your nature, you stop betraying your soul. And when you finally say yes to the force that has been guiding you all along, you don't lose your freedom. You discover it. So now I ask you, are you ready to stop choosing your destiny and start receiving it? Are you willing to let your archetype lead, even if it takes you off the map? If this resonates, write in the comments, "I am not lost. I am being called." And if you're ready to go deeper, to uncover your dominant archetype, integrate its shadow, and align with your true path, I've created a guide based on Jung's work called The Archetypal Mirror. It's not about labels. It's about liberation. Link in the pinned comment. Don't forget to subscribe. The next video reveals how to recognize the 4 archetypal crises that signal your soul is ready for rebirth. You'll need it more than you know. See you there.